clear vision and you are passionate about it, and you have people who are willing to work with you to achieve the vision, nothing is impossible. And this Mumbai Airport project actually, I use an adage normally, which is like, it's doing, an open heart surgery on a marathon runner in the middle of a marathon. So it was as complex. But nevertheless, we did take this as a vision. And, we went through a lot of challenges. I'm keeping this very limited because, a lot of the runways had to be rebuilt, everything had to be rebuilt. But our showpiece is always the terminal in an airport. So then I thought that how can we actually compete? Because, we have all these problems, we have very limited land. How do you differentiate this terminal from others, and how can you compete and capture the imagination of people? So then finally decided on three things. Number one is design. Second is art. Third is efficiency. Now in terms of design, there is another element which I think coming to beyond business, which I'm very passionate about. I'm like all of you, I'm a hardcore, Indian at heart. But one thing I feel very, very bad since last 20 years, I think, we are losing, track of our past, our history, our culture. There's so much richness in India, but most of us look always to the outside, to the other parts of the world for gratification. And we don't look inward. We have so much. We have 10,000 years of history. And in particular, I'm very, very concerned, especially about our children and our grandchildren, who have absolutely no access. Today, nobody goes to museums, nobody understands India. So I think it's a core issue for me, which I always, for the rest of my life, I'm going to try to do whatever I can to make things better, is that I think as Indians, we're losing our identity. Thankfully, at least in one area, we are not losing our identities, our clothes. So at least the women. Women make up for it. Men are always in suits and shirts and pants, which, sometimes I always think, why can't we wear a beautiful Indian work clothes? So this is something which I felt, and I said that, if we use, to differentiate this terminal, if you see any terminal in the world, basically you can take the terminal from Dubai and put it in Singapore, and take one from Singapore and put it in London. It doesn't make any difference. But airports are very, very important because, they're the face of the nation. So I said that is one thing, that every single element of this airport has to reflect India and Indian design. So that was one thing which I think was very important. And that's how we went about it. But this was how Mumbai Airport is in 2006. This beautiful, amazing structure, a relic, which I'm sure most people don't even remember. So I thought it's important to also know where we came from before we go to where we are today. So then the thought was, in terms of design, we needed one single inspirational design, which we said will be a theme across the entire terminal. So we selected the peacock, because I think there's nothing more beautiful than the peacock, which has always been part of our history. In every religion, the peacock feather is always used as a sign of good beginnings and goodwill. So we use the peacock feather, and the peacock feather motif, I'll show you, as the design inspiration. And that was something which I think drove the entire project design forward. And this was what is the terminal, which got inaugurated just about a few months ago. And just to give you a sense before that, we actually, in order to do this, we had to select an architect, which we had to, look at somebody who's amongst the best in the world. So we went to a company called SOM, Skidmore, Owings Merrill, who's in New York. And just their best reference would be, they've designed even the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. And of course, getting these really good people from abroad is very good. But then, when they are so good, they all come and tell you, okay, Sanjay, this is what you should do. But I may look meek or soft from outside, but I think once I decide on something, I'll never give up, even if it's my life. So it took me a struggle of 3 to 6 months to tell these people what India is about, what's the design philosophy that we have. And here I must thank Pinky, because she played a significant role. I think women also are much better. Men, if men, get very charged up and then just start talking gibberish, but women can be relaxed, calm, and explain. So these people used to give fancy presentations. They said, this is rubbish, this is not what I want. And you have to understand India. So Pinky arranged and took them through a tour of India about for 2 weeks. Then we introduced even Abu Jani and Sandeep Khosla, who are very close friends of ours. We brought them in because they're more the creative people, so they really connected with them. So they were able to explain to them more about what it is. And the idea was not to make this like old or something like that, in terms of Indian history. It's supposed to be very, very contemporary, but timeless. Even 30 years later, the design should be as fresh as it is today. But it should be unmistakably Indian, So that was the challenge, and that was the balance. So first 6 months was a struggle, but after that, I think, it went like a breeze and they did a fantastic job. So I'm just going to show you some images of the terminal. And one thing also I feel, which is, I think thanks to Naveen, at least he's done a good job, at least that we start feeling proud about flying our Indian flag, which is ridiculous. I mean, you can't even fly our Indian flag, which is crazy. So especially places like this, both in Bangalore and Mumbai, we are, this is another thing which I was very particular about, that we fly this flag in high mast 24/7. And this is a flag, this is a huge flag, which is there, which is lit up in the night. And this also has an interesting story, because in India, most people think in the night you can't fly an Indian flag. So we got, but they can be flown if they're lit. And so we flew, the first night when we flew it, second day, the police, one guy came and said that, we'll arrest whoever it is here if you don't take it down in the night. So we said, what are you crazy, this is what it is and this is the rule. He says, no, our rules are like this. So it's quite interesting, we had to write to the Home Ministry. And the inauguration was, the Prime Minister inaugurated the terminal on the 10th of January. On the 8th, we went to the Home Ministry because Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde also was coming. So I said, I thought I'll tell him, sir, can you clear this so we can start flying the flag? And so we wrote at 10 o'clock in the morning, sent a fax to the Home Ministry. I was shocked, I got a call at 3:30. We said, sir, we got the approval. I said, for what? He said, the flag. I said, how? Did anybody speak to anybody? He said, no. We just sent a fax and we got a return fax approved. So I said, at least there is hope in India, things do work. So, it's an amazing story, but I'm very happy that we started flying the flags in Bangalore also and in Mumbai. And I was extremely thrilled yesterday when I landed in Delhi that GMR also is flying a flag in Delhi. So, and it's not only here, but every single institution in this country, because when I go to the terminal and I look there in the night with the flag fluttering, it brings tears to my eyes. So it is so beautiful that I think, we should just make this much more prominent. So, this is just images of the entrance, So the check-in hall is one of the most important things in a terminal. So we said that how can we actually create something which will be absolutely amazing. So even in a peacock, the most amazing thing is a white peacock, which is very rare, and many people don't even know there's a white peacock. But there's something surreal about it. Imagine a peacock without color. It actually looks, it sounds funny, but actually there's something really amazing about it. So we said, why don't we, I came up with the philosophy and I thought of an idea. Said, can we design the terminal like 1,000 white peacocks in the sky? And this is what, it's just one column, but this is just one column. I'll show you the rest of the images. This is the check-in hall. But if you go back to this, and if you see this, that's we have 1,000 white peacocks in the sky. And only if you see it, you'll really understand what I'm talking about. And these are some of the images I'm just going to share with you. These are some of the huge columns we have in the terminal. And the idea is to also give it a very, very contemporary but very timeless look. Even the check-in hall counters are all wood, because India we use a lot of wood. You want warmth, you want a welcoming feeling. So most places in the world they use grey and those colors. We use a lot of brown. We had to bring granite from Brazil because that is the only place we could get that beautiful brown granite of that quantity and quality. So without compromising on anything, we have a separate check-in hall for first and business class. And this is just an image of the boarding counters. So I won't go into too much detail because there's so many other things I have to cover. But for example, you see the small, the shape of this is the shape of the peacock feather. So whether you see here, or you see in jalis, or you see here, or you see in the signage, or you see on the furniture, it's the DNA of the building. Every single place you'll see the design of the peacock feather, but it doesn't hit you in your face. It's very subtle, very stylish. The other thing which I think contribution which was given by Abu Sandeep, we were looking at, I wanted chandeliers. This may be the only terminal in the world where we have 1,000 chandeliers. And they're all designed as a lotus flower. You know, we have the lotus flowers, there are three shapes. One is a bud, one is half open, one is full open. And they're just so beautiful. And you know, this is the way we try to bring about the whole Indianness to this. You know, you can see here, these are the, you know, chandeliers. A lot of these seats are all made out of leather. One thing I wanted to share with you, when anybody comes and sees the terminal and says this is really a 5-star terminal, it must have been very expensive. Absolutely not. You know, if you take per passenger, our cost is only 70% of Delhi. It is only 50% of, Suvarnabhumi in Thailand. It's only 30% of Beijing. And it's only 15% of T5 in London, Heathrow. And it's not only that, you know, we have to splurge money. When you have, it's how to marry design, quality, and cost. I think it's very critical. You know, in terms of, that's why I said efficiency came in, because, you know, with efficiency, we optimize the terminal, so we don't spend too much money. And whatever money you spend, even in our power plant, see, all these are ideas and effort. See, good ideas don't cost money. It's the effort which one is willing to put in to convert those ideas into reality, which is important. And I think it's important for every one of you individually, in your family, in your lives, in your work, that, you know, it's what the effort, once you believe in something, you have to put the effort to make it into something really remarkable. So there's a lot of gardens also in the terminal, because again, if you see India, rural India, it's all green, it's got water. We have a lot of fountains, we have a lot of waterfalls, and the reason for that is because I think, you know, when a person comes there, he should feel welcoming, he should feel warm. So we have the largest amount of green walls in Asia. You know, every single check-in counter or boarding gate has a beautiful green wall. And even the technology of the green wall, zero maintenance. There's absolutely no maintenance. It's automatically watered. Only if the leaves drop, you have to pick it up. We can, with colors, make any shapes we want. For Valentine's Day, people put a heart in many of these places with red color. So it's very simple. And this was developed by us in India with a company from Pune. And now that company is getting a lot of orders. But I'm just saying that, you know, we don't have to look outside for everything. You know, we can do things ourselves. Some things are very simple. So this is like, for example, in the arrival baggage hall, we have like 18 or 20 of these small, you know, huge columns with a lot of gardens. And at the bottom, we have a, you know, flowing water body where you come through escalators, you come through water bodies and gardens, things like that. So, talking about something which is, again, closest to my heart, other than work, and of course, Pinky and family, for me, the only other thing I do is, you know, collect traditional Indian art. Because I'm completely, I would say, crazy about it. Because I feel I'm so much in love with it. And so, even that also I felt, how can we actually translate this for the younger generation? And not only, this was not focused towards foreigners. This is actually focused towards Indians. Because I think Indians are forgetting what we really have. Today when a lot of people come here and they say, oh, is this from Bali? Is this from Indonesia? I say, no, it's from India. What are you talking about? You know, we have pieces from Nagaland. I'll show you some of those. And most people haven't even seen it. So just to give you a sense that, you know, we have, you know, more than 6,000 pieces of traditional Indian art which we bought over 5 years, all across India. And we have 3 kilometers of art. You know, it's the world's largest art program outside of any museum. And only once you see it, I think you'll understand. But there's also a lot of social impact, because I feel very bad for people who have the talent in our villages, who are just, it's a dying, you know, because they don't have enough work, they don't have jobs. So everything we tried to give people who are from rural India. So we had more than 1,000 craftsmen working on this for like 3-4 years. And you know, these are just some images of, this is from Kerala, where the escalators are there, you know, this is the lamps in the Kerala art. This is quite interesting. It's the world's largest chime. It's you know, it's an automated chime. When you can come to collect your baggage, you can actually, the chime will keep moving. There's no wind inside. That's why it had to be automated, so that you can hear beautiful chimes. You know, these are all angels. So throughout the terminal, you'll see this. This is all about the Mumbai theatre screens. So there are very different themes that we split up and we started using. Of course, the arrival corridor, we have a lot of contemporary art, which frankly I don't understand. But we then, for the entire art program as a curator, we had to bring in Rajiv Sethi from Delhi, and many of you may know him. He's just an absolute genius, and he just managed to convert my idea into reality, and we really worked very closely with him. This is, you know, from Gujarat. We have at the entrance of every home, They have these small portals where they lamp a light in the night. So we converted it into a constellation of stars. And basically these constellations, it's beautiful when you see it there. Likewise, this is a old from Agra Mughal jalis which are there. And this is from Nagaland, which is the totem poles. And it's quite interesting. All these heads are their ancestors. So for everything there's a reason. And so what we've done, we've invested a lot in technology. Every single piece is actually RFID tagged. So we have small iPads which are actually more than 100 all across the program. So if you're interested, you can actually go and read about each one of these, understand more about the art. And we've actually given this whole program, because I think it'll be talked about all over the world, we thought what name will really signify the importance of this. And finally we came up with the name of Jai Hai. Because of, thanks to Mr. Rahman, most people now say Jai Ho, they forgot Jai Hai. And Jai Hai is part of our national anthem. In the end we say Jai Hai, Jai Hai. And it means glory to thee. And so this is basically paying respects to our country. It's glory to India. So the whole Jai Hai program is really something we've taken it to the nth level. What we're doing is we're going to start merchandising. That's taken a life of